My objective is most of my money coming from other things that I make money from, and you guys come into the program to learn how I made that other money. Nothing wrong with making a living off coaching. Again, I'm not slighting anybody. It's actually a good idea, especially if you do something amazing and then you promote it and you market it and you sell it. No problem. But me personally, my objective is to go get a bag, then come back to the community and teach you guys how I went and got that bag, not making money from you guys, the program. Now, I'm a businessman, so yes, this is a business. I'm not saying I'm not going to make money from the morning meetup, okay? I provide an immense value, and I don't think anybody has a problem with it, right? In the chat, you guys don't mind paying me, right? Okay. But my promise to you is this will never be my main source of income. I'll go make other money, then teach you guys how I made the other money, which will allow you to stay more. But I got to keep going. I got to go keep building stuff.
7:45 a.m. Catch me on the morning meetup, hosted by David Shanes.
The $1 million play. The $1 million play. Do you guys have a $1 million play? Just throw it in the chat. Do you have a $1 million play? And if you do have a $1 million play, how much time have you thinking? How much time have you spent thinking about this $1 million play? I've spent weeks, months, taking all of my experiences, and I really sit down and map it out. Setting up a play, how long do you think it took Phil Jackson to come up with this whole triangle offense? Either he came up with it or he got it from somebody else, or he spent time perfecting it. How long do you think it took my man to come up with the triangle offense that really beat up the league for years? Yeah, shouts out to Tex Winters. But how long did it take him to put his own little spin on it and perfect it so that it works? Some of us think our $1 million play is our idea when it's not a $1 million play, it's a $1 million idea. But you got to start to execute. The only reason I'm sharing this with you all is because I want you to spend some time thinking about how to draw out a play. Now, this might not be the only way to draw out a play, but I'm going to give you something to think about. Okay? So the objective, let me go into the whiteboard, okay? And y'all can take some snippets for Instagram, please, but just don't put the whole play. You know what I mean? The whole video. Don't be going live. You know what I mean? All right. The way I see this thing, the objective, 10,000 members in the morning meetup. Somebody put 10,000 in the chat just to make sure y'all awake. I know it's early for some of y'all, especially if you're just now getting started. But I need some engagement and interaction this morning. So I need you guys on the text, on the typing, okay? The objective, 10,000 people in the morning meetup. And some people say, well, okay, you just get the app and you promote and you run ads, that joint gonna grow. And then you get affiliates if other people are sharing it, 10,000. That's as far as we go, right? Okay, somebody give me the $1 million play real quick. I just want to hear it. Somebody give me the $1 million play. Who's got a $1 million play that you spent time thinking about and really Yo, you know what? Forget that. Let me see. Yeah, okay. No, Javante, only because you're a regular. I need somebody that don't talk much. Here we go. I'm going to give y'all how I see, it's more than 1 million, but how I see my goal, okay? It's 2 parts. If we're going to grow, and the only reason I'm doing this is because I want you guys to maybe like see how I think and how I approach it and how it's a lot deeper than the numbers. So most people, when we map it out, we're mapping out the numbers, but there's a lot to consider. So there's two things we have to consider in terms of like me. If I'm gonna take this morning meetup, which is at about 1,000 people now, if I'm gonna take this morning meetup to 10,000, there's two things that I figure I need to focus on. One is the program and one is the professor, me, myself. I have to focus on me, but one is the program, but we'll go into the program right now. Actually, the morning meetup itself. The numbers won't mean anything if the program isn't amazing. But I see the program in three different areas. One, we got to build culture. Two, have to add value. And three, promotion. This is how I see it. So hold on, look at that. Okay. In terms of culture, and I'm thinking to myself, the objective now is in anything. If you're going to do something that is a residual, meaning it's a what's the word I'm looking for? Not residual. It's come on, somebody help me out. What's the word? Recurring? Yes. If it's a recurring model, take this note. You have to bring people in faster than they leave. Okay? You have to bring people in faster than they leave. I know. The objective is I got to bring y'all in to this morning meetup faster than you leave, because some of you are going to leave. In most recurring models don't work because there's going to be a launch where people are excited and they join your program, but eventually people start leaving. Not because you're doing anything wrong, but because people leave. It just is what it is. Listen, I'm talking about early in this, it was called Sleepless Nights. Early on, it was a small group and we got major results. And it was a much smaller group of people. They still left. Not that I did anything wrong. It's just some people aren't ready at that time. Some people don't have the time to connect with you. Some people go through financial situations where they can't just pay for it, even after you get them results. And I'm like, I got this person results. They're going to be here forever. And they're not. They're just not. So you have to bring people in faster than they leave. But the way you bring people in faster than they leave is, one, you have to create culture, because it's not all about bringing people in. It's about how do you get someone to stay? And all the things that we provide, which is value, will not keep people like culture will. So my objective is I have to continue to build culture. And how do we build culture? We have to have a culture of positivity. Y'all are thinking about the numbers, but it's very easy for a continuity program, a group like this, to not be focused on positivity. I'm telling you, listen, Jen is my general. She is going to get everybody right. We have a back and forth all the time. And I'm like, Jen, don't be fussing at people. But she be fussing at people, right? But it's needed because some of y'all just don't listen. Y'all be doing the most. It's just like, yo, Dave, you don't understand, because you ain't got to deal with these humans all the time. And people don't listen to me, and they doing the exact opposite of what I tell them to do. And I'm like, I feel you, Jen, but just say it a little nicer. So we got to balance. She's like, Dave, you just too nice. And I'm like, Jen, don't be fussing at people. Well, you go back and forth. That's why you need that balance, right? You need that balance. But my objective is to make sure everything we do is in a positive light. Now, you can't be naive to think that everything has to be happy-go-lucky. That's why we have a Jen in place, right? Because she's going to say the stuff that I won't say and can't say that needs to be said. But my objective in terms of building culture is to make sure when you get on here, it's positive. You have an amazing experience and you're happy. You have to leave happy. We have to nip in the bud, right? And Jen is on the lookout for all these. Like, there are going to be cancers in every single environment. And it's Jen's job to go find it, cut out the cancer without everybody else seeing it. So listen, y'all are thinking about, oh, how do we get to 10,000 members? Well, I'm thinking culture first. Because if the culture is here, they won't leave. Again, I'm not teaching you how to build a morning meetup or a community or whatever. My goal is to teach you how deeply you have to think about hitting a goal. Y'all with me so far? Are y'all with me so far? Okay. Also, building culture, there has to be growth. Do you know why? Do you know why we come on here and it's not just a message? Because a message will not help you grow like your own time reading a book will. So that's the whole purpose of the book club, so that the people in this community are growing outside of the conversations that we have. I'm looking to help people adopt a habit in the book club. I want you to become a reader. The testimonial of the culture is we are well-read individuals. We read, there's unity here. You're going to be out in the streets. Just throw it in the chat real quick. If you've ever been out in the streets and somebody's talking about a book and you got to be able to join the conversation because you read the book, because it was one of the books that we read in the book club. And the people see you and they're like, yo, oh, you here. Oh, you know what you're talking about. You are now in the conversation. Have you ever had something happen in your business based on some of the things that we're reading, whether it's well done, right? We just read about kind of like the family dynamic, right? And some of you grew, not business, not money, nothing. Some of you, your relationship is growing because we read the book Well Done, and you start to adopt those principles, meaning you're growing as a person. So if we're going to create culture, the people in the community have to grow. And I know that I'm not that good to do it myself. So we have to implement a book club. And it's not the book itself, because we could just be reading the book every day, but Brent comes on and has you say the thing that you learn, so that when you say it, you learn it. The best way to learn is to teach. So now you get to teach other people what you just learned, and it sticks with you and you continue to grow. And now we have a culture of people who are well-read. Okay. My goodness. I hope I'm going to be able to get through this. We have to have a culture of collaboration. When people get together, it creates a culture. And it's very rare that you find people get together. Yo, if you think about it, in music, we don't even have like groups anymore, really. There's no collaboration anymore. Remember R&B groups? Remember those? Remember? There's no Drew Hills, there's no 112s, there's no Black Streets, there's no As Yet. Y'all probably don't really remember As Yet. There's no Jodeci's. There's no Wu-Tang Clans. There's no Sugar Hill Gangs. There's no De La Souls. I mean, we got Migos. That's good. We got one. There's no Locks, right? Because everybody's out for themselves and there's no collaboration. That's why, in a spirit of collaboration, think about like Bad Boy, like the record labels. You really think about record labels now versus back in the day, the record labels don't move as a unit anymore because the people in the culture don't move as a unit anymore because there's no groups. It's all us. Bad Boy would rep all Bad Boy. And they do stuff together and there's collaboration. I'm getting on your songs, you get on my songs, and there's a collaborate that doesn't happen as much. Death Row would move as a unit and there was a culture there. No Limit Soldiers, everybody jump on every song. Even if you can't rap, you're my homeboy, let's go. You on this joint. Tupac would throw people that you never heard of on a song. Now, nobody does that. It's only people that are already popping. There's no spirit of collaboration. That's why there's no culture in music anymore. Everybody's so separate. So in the morning meetup, if we are going to grow to 10,000, I've got to get you all to work together somehow. Because if you work together, you guys are going to be, you're going to be growing, then you'll have positive things to say, and now we've built a culture. This is one of the things that I'm talking about in terms of the whole plan of building the 10,000. Y'all thought it was going to be a marketing strategy, but we have to focus on the program first. I'm hoping that when you go back, you're going to adjust your $1 million plan. Golly, I got 10 minutes. This is crazy. Okay, we got to add value. Okay. I have to keep bringing you guys my network. I got to keep bringing you guys my network because it's more value. So the people that are on the podcast, I got to bring them to you all because you may not necessarily get to hear them one-on-one and ask them questions. So I got to bring my network. We got to have gatherings, right? The fact that I'm willing to spend $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to put on an event that you guys get to come to for free, where you're only paying $79 a month, is a part of us adding value to the program. And if we add value, you guys will stay longer because we got to get people to stay. We got to bring people in faster than they leave, but the people that come in, they got to be able to stay. It'd be a losing battle if I'm bringing people into this boat, but there's holes in the boat and people leave faster. Listen, this is the whole reason we got to the network and we got the app, because our processes were failing. We get an email every day. Can't find the link. Can't get the link. I'm like, oh, got it. We need to put everybody in this app. The reason we're promoting you guys, pushing you guys to get the app, because I don't want to have to send you an email every day. I want you to know that if you're in the app, you can go to somewhere and get the link. No problem. You ain't got to call. You ain't got to email. You ain't got to text. You ain't got to post it in my stories. I couldn't get the link. That is not your fault. It's our fault. But we got to patch the holes in the boat. You have to patch the holes in your boat first. So most people, like in terms of growing and scaling, you're not focusing on, because this is the boring stuff. You got to figure out how to have an amazing program before you start selling people. Okay. All right. So obviously we got to add more benefits. And this is a never-ending battle. Never ending. So the first benefit is the fact that we're on a call every single morning and we got a book club, but that is not going to sustain you, because eventually you'll say, well, I need more. So we have to continue to throw more. And we have that section where obviously you guys are going to get courses at a heavily, heavily discounted rate, or you guys are going to get free courses, free information, exclusive information, benefits. When I come to your city and we hang out, that's a benefit. These are the things I'm thinking through in terms of 10,000. This ain't, hey guys, join the morning meetup. This is us figuring out how we're going to not only provide culture, but also provide value, or create culture and provide value. And then we have to have valuable information. That's a given, right? Okay. Next, promotion. Okay, how are we going to do it? We got to do it through ads, other stages and platforms. I'm just giving y'all my playbook. Podcasts. Y'all know we got a morning meetup podcast, right? Where they'll get old calls that are still adding value. But when they listen to the podcast, and as we grow the podcast, it's more people that are going to come in and say, I want to be a part of the experience, because I just get to hear these names, the Brens and the Marlins. I just get to hear it. Or I get to see it on, like, YouTube will drop some of the old clips from last year. But you want to be in the culture. You want to be in the community, right? So this is a part of the play, the actual podcast. Hold on. I should be. My bad. Okay. All right. How else? Community collabs. So we got recession proof in here, right? Which I don't even necessarily, it's because there's a bunch of y'all in here. But if we have more community collaborations, we'll have a bigger reach. And the more people that are in here, like I think Bryn came from RPX. Shouts out to RPX. But now she's been able to collaborate with other people. The value in being in this community is other people that are in the community. So now, in terms of my plan and my strategy, look at all the points that we have to consider. When we're going to rob a bank, you don't walk in a bank waving a gun. You have to think of everything. And and I'll just keep driving it, the only reason I'm sharing this with you guys is because I want you to look at your plan differently. Look deep. You got to drive deep. These are all real concerns that you have to be concerned about. Am I right? How many people, real quick, you got to go back to the drawing board on your $1 million plan. Here's what's crazy, and here's why it takes so long. Every single one of these points take considerable consideration. Every single one of them. Okay, I can say community collaborations, but how the heck do I find them? So now we got to find somebody to go out and find other people who have a large community. We got to work the deal, make sure it makes sense for them, make sure they're not taking advantage of me, I'm not taking advantage of them, making sure it's a right fit, making sure the person at the top doesn't have an ego to say, oh, I need to be on 2 calls a week. My community come here, I need to be on 2 calls a week. And how do you find that? That is a job in itself. Do you know how companies have thousands and thousands and thousands of employees? Because every single job here is a job that requires a team to go get it done. How do I get on other platforms? I need a PR agent to go get me on other platforms to speak and promote the morning meetup. Ads. How do we run ads? Well, we got Dave that runs the ads for Instagram and Facebook. But what about ads on TikTok? What about ads on YouTube? That requires a whole department. Y'all think getting rich is easy and it takes passion and it just takes manifestation. And if you know the numbers, oh, if I just take this amount of money and it compounds, or I take this amount of money and I flip that, then I flip it again, then I flip that again, then I flip that again. But how do you flip it? There's so much to consider. Adding value, like that's a whole strategy, because you can't add too much value too fast because you're giving all your cards and there's nothing to be excited about. So we got to continue to drip value. So every time you look up, oh, it's another benefit. Oh, it's another benefit. Oh, it's another benefit. All right. Everybody put Professor Shands in the chat. Professor. Yeah, no, I don't talk about myself in terms of like hopefully not in an arrogant way, right? Too much, but it's something that I really have to consider. If I knew how to spell professor, it'd be better. I'm your professor. But the way we grow the 10,000 is I have to grow myself. I have to keep growing. Success and exposure. Every time I post something about a real estate deal or something like that, more people are interested in the morning meetup. Meaning I gotta go get bigger deals. My brand right now is predicated on my brand. Eventually, that will not be the case. Right now, I'm the #1 draw to the morning meetup. I don't think I'm the most important, but I would be the #1 promoter necessarily, like to bring people in, right? But it's going to be predicated on my brand. So now I have to have a whole strategy on building my own brand. I wish I had more time. I really do. Okay. So my podcast growth. And not only the podcast growth, but I'm soon building out a network. I'm building a podcast studio, and hopefully we can get 3 of them joints as we continue to build it. But look at what I'm saying here. In terms of getting to the goal of 10,000 members, I not only have to focus on the value of the plan, the actual program, but I have to promote myself, which means I got to go get more successful so that I'm never making more money from you guys than I'm making outside of here. That will never be my plan. Not saying anything's wrong with it, but me personally, I don't ever want most of my money coming from coaching. I don't want most of my money coming from the people that are paying me to teach them how to be successful. My objective is to make most of my money. Let me get full screen real quick. My objective is most of my money coming from other things that I make money from, and you guys come into the program to learn how I made that other money. Nothing wrong with making a living off coaching. Again, I'm not slighting anybody. It's actually a good idea, especially if you do something amazing and then you promote it and you market it and you sell it. No problem. But me personally, My objective is to go get a bag, then come back to the community and teach you guys how I went and got that bag, not making money from you guys, the program. Now, I'm a businessman. So yes, this is a business. I'm not saying I'm not going to make money from the morning meetup. Okay. I provide an immense value and I don't think anybody has a problem with it, right? In the chat, you guys don't mind paying. You guys don't mind paying me, right? Okay. But my promise to you is this will never be my main source of income. I'll go make other money, then teach you guys how I made the other money, which will allow you to stay more. But I got to keep going. I got to go keep building stuff. I got to keep going. I'm building out a whole podcast. And we'll be a successful podcast and content creation and how I make the relationships and how I structure a business, all that kind of stuff. And I come back and teach you all. We built out a studio and it's almost done. It is the most amazing, beautiful thing you've ever seen. Yeah, I am so sorry. I don't know. My lights keep flickering. I don't know what's going on. Right. So, just out to Crew Fit Clothing. Okay, I'm about to wrap this up because I gotta go. And I wish I could show you my board, but I can't because my stuff just keeps turning off. It's the weirdest thing. Okay. So yes, I got to continue to keep building my brand. I have to become successful. I got to go get bigger deals, real estate, acquisitions, all kind of stuff. I got to do big events. Now, we're talking about exposure. So now I got to get celebrity endorsements. I got to go get celebrity endorsements. I got to come up with a social media growth strategy. I have not been focused on my social media growth strategy lately, as of late, because that hasn't been my focus. My focus is laying a foundation, but now I got to come up with a whole nother strategy because lately, for the last couple of months, I've not necessarily been teaching on my social media. But it's because there's so much that I have to consider. And it wasn't focused on me growing my social media, but that is another aspect of how I'm going to have to build this program. So I'm developing I have a whole nother social media strategy where I have to do more teaching. I understand it. I pay attention to this stuff. And the more I teach on my social media, the more people share, the more people get involved in what we got going on, the more people trust me as a coach. And the bigger I become, the more people will come into the morning meetup. Also, I got to get on bigger platforms. Okay, here's the thing, real quick, and I'm almost done. What is going to have to happen for you to have a big goal is you're going to have to let some stuff go. So last year I did this content creation bootcamp, right? And I think last year I got to look at the numbers for accuracy. I want to say of the content creation bootcamps, I think I made like $300,000 or $400,000 on just the content creation bootcamp. Added tremendous value. It was like $300,000 or $400,000 or something like that from the content. I can't do that anymore. Now, some of you are thinking, yes, you can do it and it helps you grow. It doesn't. Everything that I promote takes away from something that I promote. So, is anyone willing to give up $400,000 to go build something else? I have some numbers. This is what I'm gonna do. Because I gotta go speak at my boy's event and I don't want to be late. I'm gonna continue this conversation tomorrow. So will y'all be here tomorrow? Will you guys be here tomorrow? Y'all gonna be here?
You froze again. Dave. There you go.
Brandon, am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back.
I'm sorry, y'all. Yeah, I don't know. My computer just like turned off. It was crazy. It's like flickering on and off. It's crazy. So, but tomorrow, I will come back tomorrow because I want to give y'all like some numbers and projections and all kind of stuff. But hopefully this was valuable. and you go back with a deeper plan. You got to think of every aspect of a big plan. If you're going to hit a big goal, you got to think of every aspect. And you can't, and I know you're thinking, how do I know every aspect? You just got to think of as many as possible. But it is more than the numbers. It's like, how am I going to get this done? And we're super optimistic. If I just get 1,000 people to give me $200, and then I do this, then I grow it, oh, I'll be straight. And now I just got to work hard. It's past working hard. That's why I'm so big on the how. If you all do me a favor and you spend some time thinking, somebody put thinking in the chat. Thinking. If you just spend, that's the biggest Achilles heel of entrepreneurs. We don't think, we just work. We don't sit down and go through a plan. Do y'all understand like where I be coming from when I'm talking about like how am I going to get something done? There's so many aspects. And the reason you haven't gotten to your goal is because there's something killing you, but you don't know what it is yet. Because you haven't like really thought of every aspect. I would think if I wasn't paying attention to culture, the fact that people are coming in and leaving is not because I need to work harder. I need to pay attention to the culture. Or is it not enough value? Or are we not promoting enough? Or there's culture, promotions there, values there, but I'm not getting enough exposure to bring people into this program. So you guys are going to come up with a plan, right? I love y'all, man. Y'all just going to keep me on time. See, that's what I be talking about, man. So make sure y'all go get the book, Secrets of the Millionaire Mind, T.R. Ecker. We're reading together. I love y'all. Bryn, it's on you. I'll be on tomorrow, and I'm going to make sure my stuff don't be turned off.
If you like the video that you just watched, click this one. You're going to like this one, maybe even more. Click it right now.